Powered by the Montana Television Network. This is the 530 News on KAJ, Montana's news leader.
Good evening and thanks for joining us. I'm Don Fisher. Our top story tonight, a homeless man was found dead in a Kalispell parking lot early Monday morning, and officials believe he died about a week before he was found. 61-year-old David Martinez of California was found in his van, which was parked at a Kalispell Walmart. Sheriff Chuck Curry says he was living in that vehicle. Employees of the store found the body after they noticed the van had been sitting there for quite some time, and they went to check in. Martinez was found frozen inside of a sleeping bag. Curry says they believe he did die of natural causes, but are awaiting tests to confirm that.
At this point, we have submitted his blood to the Montana State Crime Lab for toxicology. We'll see what we get back. The cause of death is currently pending, but it is a rough time of the year to be homeless in northwest Montana, pretty much anywhere in Montana for that matter. And unfortunately, these people fall oftentimes on unfortunate circumstances.
And Curry says it's unknown how long Martinez had been dead before his body was found, but he did say that the death most likely occurred before Christmas. A snowmobile triggered an avalanche that partially buried a person on New Year's Day. The Flathead Avalanche Center reports that the incident happened at the elevation of about 5,200 feet on the Grave Creek Road cutout in the Whitefish Range. Two snowmobilers were crossing under a road cut and slightly side-hailing above the road when they accidentally triggered the slope above them. The lead rider kept riding unaware of the avalanche, while the second rider was knocked off his sled and buried mid-chest, according to the center. The first rider turned back around and came back to help dig him out, and the center reports that dangerous avalanche conditions do exist in the wake of a significant storm that ended last weekend. In another chilly but quiet day for weather in the region, but we may see a shift later this week. But for more, let's toss it over to Chief Meteorologist Aaron Yost, who has a look at our first forecast. Aaron.
Yeah, we're going to continue with these valley inversions, much like we saw out there today across the northwest part of the state. And with that low deck of clouds completely kind of encompassing all of our valleys. If you head up into the mountains, perhaps you had a ski day up at Whitefish Mountain Resort, you were treated to tons of sunshine way up there above all the crud. We will start to see disturbance, though, moving all this out of here as we head into the day tomorrow. We could potentially see a couple of scattered light snow showers earlier on in the day on Wednesday. Second half of Wednesday should showcase a few peaks of sunshine. Bigger chance for a little bit more of a system this coming weekend. I've got those details on the way down.
Okay, thanks, Aaron. It was just about a year ago that the city of Whitefish had a change of the guards, welcoming a new city manager to Whitefish. Nicole Miller caught up with him a year into the job to find out how it's going so far.
When the city of Whitefish welcomed a new city manager last year, Adam Hammett, a Great Falls native, brought with him more than a decade of experience in local government, and he's been putting it to good use.
We're a happening city, and there's a lot of things going on. When I got out here, we were just a few months away from moving into City Hall, so I kind of got thrown into the fire with the City Hall project and trying to get that wrapped up. I think things turned out really well. We're really pleased with the product that we have.
Hammett also told us when he first took the job, one of his top priorities on his agenda was more affordable housing. And after just about a year on the job, Hammett says affordable housing is still the biggest issue plaguing the city.
Affordable housing continues to be the #1 priority for the city. And I've mentioned this numerous times that now that all of the stakeholders in the community see this as an important issue. Everyone has come together to make this a top priority, and not just the city. I think a lot of the responsibility and different things are going to fall on the city, and that's why we're pushing hard to keep things moving forward.
Hammett says there's even a possibility the city could see ground broke on housing projects in 2018.
And so that's why we're creating the steering committee. And the resolution was just approved by the council here at the beginning of December. Our applications are in. They're going to be doing some interviews tonight, and they're going to be appointing the seats for the steering committee to move this process forward.
Reporting for MTN News, Nicole Miller, Whitefish.
Hammett took over for Chuck Stearns, who had served as city manager for the last 8 years. And the crowded race for Montana's only U.S. House seat has one less candidate today. Democratic State Representative Tom Woods of Bozeman says he is dropping out. However, his withdrawal still leaves 5 Democrats vying to challenge Republican incumbent Greg Gianforte this year. In a post on his personal Facebook page, Woods said that he can't compete with the deep financial pockets of at least 2 of his competitors in the Democratic primary. He did note that the attorney John Heenan of Billings and former Land Trust Director Grant Keir of Missoula have already raised hundreds of thousands of dollars for their campaigns, while Woods says those amounts are well over 10 times what he's been able to raise so far. The 56-year-old Woods joined the race late last summer after Keenan and Keir had began their campaigns. And candidate filing begins next week, and Democrats will choose their nominee for the House race in the June 5th primary election. A Missoula legislator who played a key role in passing criminal sentencing reforms last year is now joining the State Department of Corrections. The department announced Tuesday that State Senator Cynthia Wolken will be the agency's new deputy director starting Wednesday. Wolken, a Democrat, chaired the 2015 Commission on Sentencing that proposed sweeping reforms for Montana's criminal sentencing laws. She then sponsored many of the bills last year to enact reforms designed to reduce the number of people in jails and prison in Montana. Those bills passed the 2017 legislature with bipartisan support. Corrections Director Reg Michaels said Tuesday that Wolken's role in criminal justice reform will be invaluable to the agency as it enacts the changes. Wolken says she looks forward to moving the ball forward on changes that will save taxpayer money while maintaining public safety. And Wolken is an attorney who was elected to the state Senate in 2014. The U.S. is adopting a wait-and-see attitude towards word of a possible thaw in relations between North and South Korea. CBS's Weijia Zhang reports from the White House.
South Korea is proposing talks with North Korea, possibly as soon as next week. The meeting would take place in a border village the two countries share. The offer came after North Korean leader Kim Jong-un said he was open to sending a delegation to next month's Winter Olympics in South Korea. The White House is reacting cautiously to news of a possible sit-down.
We've been very clear about the fact of what our priority is, and that's a denuclearized peninsula, and there's nothing new to update on that front.
Earlier in the day, President Trump weighed in on Twitter, writing, "Sanctions and other pressures are beginning to have a big impact on North Korea. Rocket Man now wants to talk to South Korea for first time. Perhaps that is good news, perhaps not. We will see." The White House says its official position has not changed. The U.S. will not negotiate with North Korea unless Pyongyang is willing to end its nuclear weapons program. Kim Jong-un has repeatedly said that's not an option. In fact, the North has resumed missile activity, appearing to be in the early stages of another launch.
North Korea can talk with anyone they want, but the U.S. is not going to recognize it or acknowledge it until they agree to ban the nuclear weapons that they have.
Pyongyang has yet to respond to South Korea's offer. Weijia Zhang, CBS News, the White House.
And the Winter Olympics will get underway in South Korea on February 9th, and the games will close on the 25th. Federal safety regulators are weighing whether a Ford recall should widen. Back in 2016, Ford recalled 153,000 vehicles because the transmissions could unexpectedly shift into first gear and cause drivers to lose control. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration is now investigating if Ford should include as many as 1.4 million F-150s, Lincoln Navigators, and Expeditions from the 2011 to 2013 model years in the recall. Strong demand and shrinking global investors have crude oil futures hitting their highest level since 2015. Increased oil prices trickled down to the gas pump. Today's national average, according to AAA, is $2.49 a gallon, and that's up 5 cents from 1 week ago. Last year was the safest year on record for commercial air travel. The Aviation Safety Network says there were no deaths on passenger jet airlines in 2017, and there were 10 fatal accidents on cargo planes and smaller turboprop passenger planes. A glitch in the matrix is fixed. On New Year's Eve, WhatsApp experienced a global outage, and in India, its biggest market, the app was still down for a few minutes into the new year. Users griped on social media about the service disruption, and the company owned by Facebook apologized for the outage. And since no one either won the Powerball or Mega Millions jackpot last week, the combined jackpots is now at nearly $1 billion. It's a rare event for both jackpots to hit more than $300 million at the same time, and your chances to win are 1 in 259 million for Mega Millions, and for Powerball, it's 1 in 292 million. And coming up on Montana Made, we visit the studios of a woman whose stained glass art pieces are ones you've probably seen a lot around the Treasure State. Stay with us.